Hello, everyone. My name is Dabo Moregbe. I am going to be your moderator today. This is the Eko Wellness Fair, which is virtual, and it's all about mental health. So welcome, and I hope you've been with us for the last 4 days, and we're on day 5. This is day 5. Welcome, and it's all about mental health, as you know. We all know about what's, during the pandemic, many of us experienced some kind of mental breakdown or some mental things going on. I have a personal experience with mental health. My young daughter experienced some form of depression, but we're getting there. So welcome. So we've been going through this fair, which is virtual, and it's the first time we're doing it online. So bear with us and enjoy it. A few things that have come up in the last few days that we've been watching. We've been watching different cooking programs. We're watching people talking about relationships and mental health, how you can deal with mental health. For me, listening to all of that, it just reminds me that it's not just about mental health, and not just about our bodies being healthy, but also our minds too being healthy. And we want to live a better, healthier life, then we need to have our mental health in check. So we are going to be having a few things coming up today. There's going to be a short movie, a short film on mental health. We're going to have a cooking demonstration, and we're going to have a cooking demonstration by myself, and then we're going to have Sisimi of Ope Farms come and tell us and show us how to gardening in an organic way, and then we're going to have people come and talk about a stream or about farm to table, about from your farm to your plate. So we're streaming online. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we are on the website www.ekowellness.net. So please tune in, get your friends, your families to come in and see us and listen to us. And please just stick with us, stay with us, and please enjoy watching this program. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to take you to our first. I'm going to go through what's going to happen today. The first, we're going to show a short film, a movie called Bloody Hand from yesterday. It was supposed to be shown yesterday, but some technical hitch, so we're going to replay it today. After that, there's going to be a little show up, and it's called Start Garden Grow with Sisimi of Ope Farms, showing us how to grow Ugwu organically. And breath work and stretches by Babatunde is coming up about 12:30. And then we're going to have farm to table, journey of our food from seed to plate. It's going to be a small discussion with a panel, with a small panel, and it's going to be moderated by PJ Okocha. And then a little cooking demonstration of my very own self, just showing you how to make healthy smoothies that is good for your mental health. So this is what we have lined up for you today. And then, a short film will be screening by Koboye. It's called Koboye by Gashin Salvador. So it will be showing, that's what we're going to show at the end of this program. And please stick with us. And now let's tune in for the replay of yesterday's short film called Bloody Hand from yesterday. I hope you will enjoy this. Thank you.
With my bloody hands, I put pen to paper to share my story. A couple of years ago, in this same room, covered with red roses, yes, I said yes to a beautiful man. I said yes to a lifelong journey of pain and joy, sickness and health, struggles and triumphs. How naive of me, I knew only that much. What I didn't know was that time could change you. You know, it changed him. See, in our marriage, dealt us and he found a vice. I remember the first time he came home drunk. I had the same trembling, bloody hands. But that time it was my blood, spilled all over the bathroom sink and dripping from the smashed mirror. Oh, that was only the beginning of our many, many bloody and dirty fights. Don't judge me. I loved him. I couldn't leave. It's for better and for worse, until death do us part. Only in our case, even in death, we will remain. So today I pulled the trigger, and now it is blood on my trembling hands. I'm sorry for this stained note, but I further apologize for the mess I'm going to make when I use the last bullet on me. It all started in this room. A depressing love story. With red roses, a gigantic ring, and a naive couple. Now, it shall end in a bloodbath.
Blood on my hands, why you get I lose myself? Why you do me bad? Why you hurt me like that? You told me that you love me, but you couldn't even show it. Now you got me messed up, now you got me so fucked up. Yeah. Why you make me pull that trigger, pull that trigger? Why you make me pull that trigger, pull that trigger? Why you make me pull that trigger, pull that trigger?
Hi everyone, this is Sisimi of Ope Farms and I'm reaching you from the Eko Wellness Virtual Fair. I'm here for two reasons. Number one is to teach you one or two ways in which you can de-stress. I mean, guess what? You're not only distressing, you're making food. This time, food that is safe and healthy for your lifestyle. Because we only grow food for wellness. We grow our food without the use of synthetics. We do not use chemicals. And so today you're going to learn how to grow Ugwu. Every family eats Ugwu, I think, because yes, at one time it was meant for the Igbos. But guess what? All of us are now eating it. And why you should eat it is because it contains hydrate minerals that we look for in supplements. They're all in here. It's good for the blood. It makes blood for your body. So while you're distressing, you're going to be making food. Let's go. Thank you for being with me. So what you will need to ensure that your Ugwu is rich, looking even better than this, because I brought this just to show you some of the problems that may occur as you grow it. But this is what you want to be able to do. Supposing you have about 4 or 5 of this in your garden, then you don't have to worry about buying Ugwu. At least that is one thing that is safe, and you know there is traceability because it's from your own garden. So what we're going to do, I like to use these pots, and one of the things I do is I just get a method that you have those holes under, because the excess water will drain out by itself. Now, to ensure that your Ugwu is fed continuously, we normally, what I'm teaching you is the practice at Ope Farms. They say many roads lead into the market. So, but at the end of the day, we're all going to that market to buy food. So there are many ways of planting Ugwu. I'm just showing you our own best practice. So what we do is we get mulching material, which is dried, maybe the dried things from your garden and all of that. Some people call them waste, but we know that they're food. So you put them right at the bottom. And what happens is that they're going to decompose and then feed your Ugwu again. So your Ugwu is a sort of food. Now, this is our own soil. You need sandy loamy for Ugwu. Sandy loamy because the sandy loamy would allow water to pass through. If it's too clayey, then the roots will be affected and the plant would not thrive. We also encourage that you use manure. Manure could be from your aged chicken waste. Aged because in organic, your manure must have been left on its own for at least 3 months. This is to ensure that there are no pathogens or anything that can interfere with the health of what we're growing. Now, this is sand because our own soil is the reddish one, so we tend to add the sand to make it looser. And then that is the bone meal. Some people would rather use eggshell, but we use the bone meal for our planting. So you have biochar. Biochar is a product that we make. It's not charcoal, but it is biochar. I would not take you through that whole process, but it is usually sold. Another thing that you can add is the blood meal. I couldn't get the blood meal here today, but blood meal is another thing that would ensure that your vegetable is nutrient rich. So let's go. Usually the soil, because I'm creating it into sandy loamy, I'm adding the sand to it. and I'm using relatively about 60%. So I'm going to use about 60% of the soil to 40% of the sand, and I mix everything together. The biochar could just be a handful because this is all I'm using. And the manure, let's say roughly about 20%. Now, the rabbit manure comes in these granules. It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing. And guess what? It's also cold. Unlike the manure, the waste you get from the cow, the chicken, and you have to wait 3 months for them to be usable. For the rabbit poo, you can use it even straight away. That's the way it's made. So everything now goes together. So I have bone meal, I have the rabbit waste, I have biochar. So just imagine you're making salad or something at home and you want everything to report in there. That is the way we do this. And this is why at the end of the day, your ugu would even be richer than what you would normally buy in the market because it has all of this. So I tell you, this is luxury ugu you are going to be planting. And that is it. So we fill up the pot to the level that we want. Depending on the container you use, I always suggest that you don't use a container that is too small because the root is going to go further down. So that is it. Leaving about roughly 1 inch, 1.5 inches is actually best. So with this, if you were to water, then it goes straight down. Now, the ugu seed itself. Ugu seed comes from the pod. So usually people sell either the seeds alone, or if you ask in the market, the Ugwu women, I think they even have an association. If you ask them for Ugwu seed, they usually have, and they sell per piece. So this is what the Ugwu seed normally looks like. And you know, this is edible. There's some tribes in Nigeria that actually eat it, because if you can use this right now to cook, and it will just look like egusi in your soup. So you have a choice. Are you going to plant it? Are you going to eat it? But in this case, we are going to plant it. Now, ordinarily, this seed is supposed to be very dry. It's supposed to be dry. You should not ideally use it this wet. You wait like 1 to 2 days. But because this is a demonstration and I don't have the luxury of drying it ahead for you, is why I am showing you. So that is what it's going to do. And every ugu has its eye. So that's the eye of this ugu. Now there's a school of thought. Some would argue and say they prefer that when you plant, the eye should look up. Some would say when you plant, the eye should look down. But I usually prefer that the eye goes down. But if you're confused and you can't even find an eye, because sometimes some seeds come and you can't find the eye. So what I suggest is that you just lay it flat. Now the hole should just be about 3 to 5 centimeters. So that is the hole. But before then, I would rather that you water your combination. If you can, please, a watering can will be nice. But if you can't, then you can just be like me and improvise with whatever you can. Then as much as possible, make sure the water goes all the way down. That's why this water is going down very fast. If it was the clay soil, you wouldn't have this. So you must make sure that by the time you mix your water, you know, then the water can travel down. So what is happening is that we are saturating the soil, ensuring that whatever we put in will be well received. So If it takes too long for your water to go down, then just know that your soil mixture is probably not correct. So this is what we're doing. If this was not a demonstration, we would have waited for a while for this to all settle down. In fact, sometimes we just leave them for like the next day so that the soil, everything will be well absorbed. So, remember we had put some dried material at the bottom, so this will take a bit longer, and because of that I am going to add a bit more for this demonstration so that I can show you how you plant your seed. But sometimes it's not every seed that has the eye. So if you have a seed that doesn't have the eye, then you just place it flat. And to put it in, 3 to 5 centimeters is fine. So that's it. So in this case, I'm turning the eye down. And then please don't go too deep. If you go too deep, then you're going to give the seed a bit of stress before the germination occurs. So as light as possible, and then you just put a very little sand, soil on the surface. Now I'm going to show you 1 or 2 things that can happen. This should start to germinate in another, usually maybe about 2 days or 4 days, kind of. It really depends. It depends on your location. Please make sure that it doesn't get too much sun and there is not too much shadow. So let it be in between, and if possible, a bit of a cool space, within a cool space, not too, because the sun can actually burn it up. And that is your Ugwu ready to start growing. So your Ugwu may start to germinate within about 1 week. If it doesn't germinate in 1 week, please apply the liquid smoke. If it does not germinate in 2 weeks, then we have probably lost it. But guess what? It will be my joy if you grow, let's say at least have about 4 of this. So if one doesn't germinate, please don't feel too bad. If you're just starting, then you know that there's no miracle. But the liquid smoke would definitely help. So please try to grow up to about 4 to 6, and bear in mind that within a week to 10 days, it should actually start germinating. And within 4 weeks, you should be harvesting your Ugwu for your family. Now, one thing we always encourage, especially in organic, is that you mulch. Now, what is mulching? Mulching is just the act of covering the surface of your plant. So we use natural, because this will decay eventually and form part of the organic matter in the soil. So that is mulching, and you make sure that is there. When it starts to sprout, the mulching will not disturb it, except if you put something too large. So as much as possible, break all of this down for your own convenience. Now, note that if you maintain this very well, you water it at least every 3 days, then you are good to go. You can also use plant food. We'll encourage you to add things like plant food. We make our own plant food. And you can also use your manure. Soak that manure I showed you, the rabbit's waste, you soak it in water for about 2 days, and then you sieve it and just use the water on top to water. That means you're actually fertilizing it. Now, Ugwu can come up with quite a few diseases and pests like it. Animals love it. So if you rear goat or anything in your compound, be sure that your Ugwu is way beyond where any of those things can reach. Now, one thing that is also very, very good for Ugwu is the liquid smoke. It actually practically takes care of every single thing that can occur. This particular Ugwu has been growing for probably about 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and I brought it. I told them to leave it completely so that I could show you the things that can go wrong. When you see your Ugwu leaf starting to mottle up like this, just know that you have some kind of mite. It means that the mite is sucking the juice behind the leaf, and the back of your leaf is actually the most important part. That is where all the pests will stay. So what they do is that they love the juices within the veins, and that is what happens. So you make sure that you start spraying. What do I mean by start spraying? You should get a sprayer. Anybody growing food at home needs a sprayer. It doesn't have to be something expensive or large. This is one of the best that I've ever owned. And what we do is we apply, sometimes we use the liquid smoke and we alternate with the neem oil. Neem oil to water is always a ratio of 1 to 10. And then we just add a little black soap, and there you go, you spray. When you spray, please ensure that you use the back of the leaves, because that is where most pests will stay. So you must always take pains to do that. Now, what are the diseases that your Ugwu can have? Aphids love it. Aphids would always, then you have the beetles. The beetles too. What else can affect it? Grasshoppers, oh my goodness. And what the grasshoppers do, they eat the leaves. So they are probably the worst you want to ever have. They eat the leaves, so they're competing with your family, and you have to get rid of them. So what we do on the farm is that once it starts to germinate, maybe within about 2 weeks, you start seeing more leaves. Between 2 to 4 weeks, you already have leaves, and you can even start harvesting. But what you do is that once you start having probably just about 6 leaves or thereabouts, start spraying. And the spraying doesn't have to be more than once in a week, just to be sure that, so it's more preventive. Don't wait for anything to show up before you start spraying. And the liquid smoke is very, very good. What the liquid smoke does is that it actually mimics burning, and most pests do not like burning. So the direction to use this is there. It's very little. I think it's about 1 to 50 that you use and dilute, and then you spray. Now, another thing is thrips. They can cause flower abortion, because if you manage these very well, you can stake. It's actually always best to stake. So you put a stick, or you plant it near a tree, or plant it near your fence. Then you can be sure that the Ugwu will start growing up. So we encourage people to stake, or if you just have a raft, then you can put it such that they climb and they go all like that. And then when you harvest, please, please, please do not use your hand. There is a temptation that maybe a helper or somebody, she just goes there and no. What it does is that it gives shock to the rest of the plant. So anytime you need to harvest, that this is more than due for harvesting, but like I said, I kept it especially for this session. So what you do is that you just take the scissors and then make sure that when you cut it, you leave a node. So you see, this is growing again. So if you were to harvest it, then you cut it like that. Yes, when you harvest, always harvest and make sure that you leave a node so that life continues after your harvesting. Guess what? This single one can give you up to 2 kg of Ugwu leaf, yeah, which is quite a lot when you remove the vines, you know. And every 3 days, you just keep watering it, maintaining it, giving it manure, water, or compost tea, or whatever you have. So remember that while you are tending to your Ugwu, your mind is at rest, you're happy that this is from you to your family. And you know what happens when you grow your own food? The family starts to respect you. They see you not just as that entrepreneur or that career woman. My mom made this food, you know, she grew it. So you can actually go to a Flutter Wave store to pick any of this. It's the reason why we started making this is that many home growers just feel, you know what, I'm just going to grow for my family. Why then do a huge bucket of something? So if you go to the Flutterwave store, you're going to have access to all of this. They're there. And then because we are a certified organic farm, we supply homes, and this is how to order from us. You know, you can register with the phone number 0803-535-5714, and with that we can always deliver food to you. But it will be my joy to know that you're not ordering Ugwu from us, because you have grown yours at home. And let me share something with you. Your wellness is a gift to yourself and to your family. So make it a nice one. Distress, nurture something, grow some of your food at home. And that is me, Sisimi of Ope Farms, signing out. Thank you for being here.
Hi, welcome back. I hope you watched the short film, Bloody Hand, from yesterday. It was really thought provoking. If anyone who needs help, you can contact their helplines. The numbers there, and reach out and talk to someone. They're there to help. Sisimi came and showed us how to plant our own vegetables in our own garden, and it is a good way to know that what you're eating is close to your well-being, and what you're putting on your plate and into your bodies, and it helps with our minds and our general health. So I wish I could plant mine, but the area I'm living in, there's nowhere to plant. But that's my goal. One day I'll have my own mini garden and to stay healthy. Please, I encourage you to visit our Flutterwave store. There's so much discounts, goodies there, healthy options for you to choose from. Please visit our store. We're there. So please visit our Flutterwave store. Yes. So you can I can't even remember but you go to our link on the www.ekowellness.net. You can see our Flutterwave store link, and then you can go and see what we have for you there. So the next what we're going to bring to you is Breathwork and Stretches by Babatunde. And this is all about, our mental health again, how to breathe. And I just want to say something. My mother really introduced me into breathing, and it really did help her with her well-being, because she used to feel anxious during the COVID times and the pandemic, and she was introduced to breathing, and it really helped her a whole lot. So please, Breathwork and Stretches. So please watch. Babatunde is going to come on here from Lifelong Fitness to show us breathwork and stretches.
Welcome. My name is Babatunde. I'm an advocate for wellness, and the work we do basically is teaching people how to take good care of their physical body, of their mental body, their emotional body, and how to guard their spirit. I teach yoga, Pilates. I also design and start other exercise and fitness programs to help people stay fit and well. I give diet advice. I'm into healing, holistic healing. We do meditations, we do nurturing sessions. We also do basically everything that is geared towards well-being. Okay. As part of the activities marking this year's Eko Wellness Fair, I will be offering breath walk and dynamic stretch. Simple breath walk that will help you draw in tremendous amount of vital energy, and also dynamic stretch to help you release used up energy in your energy system. So I'm going to start with basically the breath walk, grounding yourself. Thereafter, I move to the dynamic stretch. So once again, you're welcome. To begin our breath walk, it's essential you find a comfortable sitting position. Ensure you are either seated on a chair or you can sit in a simple cross leg. Also ensure that your spine is erect and you turn your palms facing up in a receptive position. Keep the mouth closed, tip of the tongue connected to the palate. You can choose to close the eyes or keep the eyes wide open or partially closed. Okay, but again, it's best to close your eyes. Just observe the breath. Observe the natural inhalation and the exhalation. Now let's begin our deep abdominal breathing. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. Remember, you're inhaling through the nose and exhaling from the nose. Keep the mouth closed, tongue connected to the palate. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale slowly. Normalize the breath. Breathe normally. Let's open the eyes with a big smile. That's the end of our breath work. How do you feel? I'm sure you feel revitalized, rejuvenated. Now we're going to move into our dynamic stretch. Remember, I told you the breath work essentially helps us to draw in tremendous amount of vital energy, life force, chi or prana. Okay? So as it is now, if you actually did the breath work with me, obviously you can't remain the same. Alright, now let's move into our dynamic stretch to help us release used up energy from our energy centers and from our aura. Okay? So let's come up on our feet. Now it's time for our dynamic stretch to help us release used up energy from the energy system and also the energy body. So we'll begin in true north. Let's keep our feet hip width apart, toes pointing forward 12 o'clock. Look straight ahead. Keep the mouth closed. We move on with eyes exercise. Keep the eyes wide open. Let's look up and down without moving the head 12 times. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Center. Let's look right and left without moving the head 12 times. Still on eye exercise. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Center. Eyes rotation. 12 times clockwise, 12 times counterclockwise. Clockwise, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Counterclockwise eye rotation, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember, when you're doing the eyes exercise, you take off your glasses if you're using one, okay?
Hello, we're back on. Oh God, I think I made a slight mistake with what we just watched just now. It's actually breathe, work, and stretches, and it's going to continue after the last short clip film. So please stay with us. So this next session, I'm going to introduce is going to be a panel discussion. It's going to be moderated by PJ Okocha. So I'm going to introduce PJ, and then he's going to introduce the panel because he's going to have a panel discussion. So let me read. I'm going to read it from a paper because I couldn't put it in my head. So PJ Okocha, he runs the PS Nutraceutical International. His company is an agricultural technology firm using advanced agricultural technologies to ensure clean, affordable, and healthy food is made available to the market. The firm uses aeroponics systems via greenhouses, is changing the economics of clean seed production in southwestern Nigeria through higher multiplication rates. So let's see. Sorry. So this discussion is about farm to table is a journey of our food from seed to our plate. And so there's going to be a small panel discussion. Here's PJ.
Yes. Good to see you. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, I can hear him.
Okay, great.
So you are about to, you're going to discuss about, so you have a panel of
Froze. It's not audible. Okay. Yes, we're here. Good afternoon.
well, PJ, it's your floor now. You take over.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm delighted to be a part of this panel discussion from farm to table. And we have an exciting panel discussion for you. We have two esteemed individuals who are going to be joining us, Mrs. Sowemimo of Ope Farms and Mr. Saheed Adams of Eko Concepts. Good afternoon, Mrs. Sowemimo. I see you.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Very well. You're looking very radiant. And
Thank you.
as someone who's a fellow member of your constituency, I'm also a farmer. It's also an honor as well. I've read a little bit about your story as well, and it's exciting. Keep it up. And we have Mr. Mr. Hassan Adams as well. You're also
Saheed
radiating
Adams,
as well.
yes.
Yes, Mr. Saheed Adams
Oh,
also radiating
thank
as well.
you.
There's a distinct glow that comes with farmers when you work the land and everything like that. So I can see it. So I'm just essentially trying
Yes,
to show the audience what else it is that I see
yes.
as well. Welcome, 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 welcome. So yes, no, before we obviously
Thank
the
you.
segment. You're
Thank you.
welcome. So the segment obviously is farm to table. I'm going to give the two of you, your esteemed selves, the floor shortly. And just to kind of just talk us through the journey. I'm going to be asking you some questions, and there are also going to be some questions as well that are going to be sent in via the chats. But what I will say, for the audience and the people tuned in, is that we're starting to see, with the onset of COVID, with COVID-19 coming in last year, we're starting to see a reorientation of the collective mindsets. People are more cognizant now of what they put into their bodies, and also more cognizant of their health and their lifestyle. You're seeing people, exercising more. You're seeing people watching what it is that they eat and everything. So I mean, that's like I say, with every negative, also there is a positive as well, and that's one of the positive things we're seeing. And one thing I will say is that everything essentially is a function of energy. I mean, to appear on this panel right now is requiring us some form of power. To move our vehicles from point A to B requires some form of power. To fly an airplane requires some form of energy and power. Human beings are no different. Food essentially is our energy that powers us. So it's also important. That's why I think this discussion is very, very pertinent. What kind of fuel are we giving our greatest natural resource, which is actually human beings? So this discussion is timely. It's very, very important. We need to ensure that we're actually eating healthy, clean, safe, organic food, because if we have clean fuel going inside of us, it's only going to enable us to operate at our highest capacity and at optimal capacity. So I'm excited for this discussion, as I'm sure everybody else is that's tuning in. Without further ado, we must start with, in our African culture, we start with age and beauty first. So Mr. Saheed Adams, you have to wait whilst Mrs. Sowemimo comes in and, introduces herself, talk to us
No
about Ope
problem.
Farms. Talk to us about Ope Farms and, your journey. And
course.
then, let's talk about, farm to table. So please, Ma, without further ado, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm Olushola Sowemimo, and in the agric circle, I became Sisimi because quite a number of my mentees are much older than me. I'm even the age of some of their mothers. So they used to have problems as to what to refer to me as. And since my husband gave me the pet name of Sisimi, I allowed everybody else share it with him. And so it has stuck, Sisimi of Ope Farms. But why this journey? My mom had cancer at the age of 72, and it was that of the colon. And it sort of rattled all of us because she ate healthy. I mean, she was so good. She didn't eat junk and all of that. But one thing one of the doctors said stuck with me. And he said, people usually do not develop cancer at 72. Your mom probably had lived with cancer for probably in her 40s, but because she had a good diet, good lifestyle, you could even count the white strands in her hair. That was how amazing she was. So to cool off and get myself together, I traveled. And while I was in, I think, New York, I got this unsolicited mail. It was inviting me, it was a mail inviting me to the Cancer Control Conference. And I just thought, Cancer Control Conference? You mean such a thing exists? So I told my sister-in-law I was going, and she said, do you know how much it costs to get there? I said, if it's the last penny of the money I have with me, I am attending this conference. Don't worry, when I come back, I will eat on you. You'll take me to the airport. We'll know that purse is our purse. So I got to this conference, and because it was an organic conference, they had arranged that Sheraton, which was the hotel, would provide certified organic food. I met quite a lot of people, quite a number of people. And the first launch we had to buy the food, but they all came with their cold bags. And I said, oh, aren't you eating here? Oh, they said, no. They carry their food around. Then I went to lunch with them and we sat at the table. And I started asking each one of them, why this journey? It was then I realized that over 90% of the attendees were cancer survivors. You know, for me, the cancer that in Nigeria, people just peg off like every day, suddenly I'm meeting, we were over 1,000 at that conference. So that meant that we had like 900 people who were cancer survivors. But on interviewing quite a number of them, I would have interviewed no less than 100. I realized that their food was one of the key things for them. So they would go everywhere with their food. I had to examine the kind of food they were eating, mostly raw. Some from their gardens, some the popular organic stores in America, and they would not do anything else. In fact, a lady told us how she had cancer twice. The first time she got over it, she became very complacent and went back to her old ways. She said when it came back again, it was with vengeance. But because she knew what she had done, she was able to retrace her steps. So I had my aha moment at that point, and I said, I am going to farm, and it has to be organic food. So I came back to Nigeria, and every time I mentioned to people, they just look at me like, which one is your own? Are you going to save the planet? You won't make money, you will just suffer for nothing, blah, blah, blah. And me, when you tell me something is not possible, that is when I get charged. I would rather do it. Yes, I would rather do it and say, okay, I gave it my best shot, rather than not do it. In fact, recently I was telling my husband, I said, this agric is too expensive, Ojari. I should have, done something else with the money. He said, but you wouldn't have had that fulfillment. So I do have that fulfillment, knowing that what we are producing on Ope Farms can beat our chest and say it is safe and healthy for our customers who patronize us. And say it is safe.
Fantastic. And that's a very, very inspiring story. That's the thing. I think food actually is actually medicine. We have to also have that understanding as well. It's actually medicine as well. It serves medicinal purposes. And just hearing about that journey as well, it's very exciting. I mean, one thing as well. Let me also just to buttress what she's saying and where the esteemed madam said, and to pick up off of it as well, is that we must also understand as well is that the human gut has about 500 million neurons in it.
Yeah.
The human brain has billions of neurons in it. And there's a nerve called the vagus nerve that connects the gut to the brain. Yeah. So it's also important as well, what kind of, the food we're taking in essentially also serves as information. What information is passing through from the guts to the brain and everything like that. So all these things are all very pertinent matters and I'm happy to hear that you're on this journey, and I'm happy to hear as well that you have that inner fire to continue on. Yes, it's a lonely journey. It's hard, it's arduous. There's so many impediments in place that come with working in an environment such as Nigeria, where essentially you have to create your own enabling environments.
Yep.
But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and all the seeds that you surely have sown, you surely will reap them. And let me just say that agriculture really is the foundation to enabling and building a strong and prosperous nation. So it's upon what the two of you are doing that really we're going to build a strong and prosperous nation. So well done. Mr. Saheed Adams, the floor is yours. We're also excited to hear about your journey as well. Please enlighten us. Mr. Adams, hello. Are you with us? Oh, maybe we have some technical difficulties from his end.
Incidentally, he's the president of the Lagos chapter of NOAN. That's
okay.
Yes, that's the Association of Organic Practitioners of
Organic
Nigeria.
practitioners. Oh, fantastic.
Yes,
Brilliant.
yes. So
Brilliant. Brilliant.
he is my president. He had better be here.
Okay, he's your president as well. Okay. I think we're just having a little bit of technical issues, but I'm sure he'll
Yeah.
get back in.
Yeah.
But
Let me put in a word for NOAN.
yes,
You
please
know,
do. Please do.
when I first started, I didn't know anyone who was in organic agriculture. And it was tough because, for anything you want to do, you always look up to somebody who is there to guide you, tell you what to do and all of that.
Yes.
But it seemed like you said earlier, that it's a lonely journey. It was even lonelier then than it is now. Now we have support system like NOAN, and incidentally, November 2019 was when we got the Lagos chapter for NOAN. So he's the president. One thing was, when I was looking for this knowledge, searching all over the place, I met a lady on Instagram, and that's the power of social media. She's Organic Dorothy on Instagram. And she said, oh, I know a gentleman, and they even have a group of organic farmers. I was like, oh, wow. It's amazing that there was that person there at that point in time. Oh, he's back.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
back.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome back,
Apologies for that.
sir. Yeah,
It's
welcome
okay.
back, sir. No, I mean, I think let me give kudos as well to Mrs. Sowemimo as well. She stepped in, so graciously whilst we had the technical challenges.
Technical issues.
But now that you're back, she talked a little bit about NOAN as well, and I also enlightened me as well. You being the president of the Lagos chapter as well.
All right.
So yes, please, without further ado, please talk to us. I'm excited to hear about the journey and farm to table, and why you delved into agriculture. So please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, Okocha. Yes. As you may have read in my profile, I have been into ICT for about 12 years now. Then I would say, before moving into agriculture, for me, it was about the passion. At a point in my career, I wanted to do something that would affect humanity. ICT, the way I see it, is a tool to actually make things better. And I had come to that point in my career that, okay, well, I needed to do the next thing. So naturally, it fell on me to, move closer to nature. And while doing so, I actually discovered a lot of problems. When you're in a corporate environment, the way you are being trained is you see a problem, you solve. You apply processes, structures, you make use of tools to solve those problems. And I see in agriculture, as you're right, we have a systemic issue that not one farmer, not two farmers, or not even several farmers can solve alone, except they work together. So that gave me a cue on, okay, well, yes, I'm farming naturally, but then how much, by the way, I'm a farmer. Yes, a trained farmer as well. That gave me a cue that, okay, well, how much of the food that you have on your table is organic? If you happen to get in touch with the likes of Opemi, Sisimi, and other farmers, how much of the components that you have on your table is truly organic? So I had to go on another search, trying to acquire knowledge, because for me, coming from a corporate environment, you have to have that skill set. You have to have that knowledge to be able to work with people, understanding their peculiarities and driving them to a point where they can achieve and be the best that they can be. So I went through extensive training, and I'm still going through same as I speak. This is a journey that requires commitment. It requires a lot of energy as well. But with having the commitment without the necessary skills to back all of these things up, you're just pushing the cart. You are not you are just pushing, but you are not getting the impact. So I needed to combine the two. So my journey into NOAN was a very funny incident happened. We were let me just let me just spill this out. I never intended to be the president at this point in time. But we had the election, and lo and behold, the elders in the council, let me say, decided that, okay, well, it is time for the younger generation
Okay.
to take over the mantle and drive all of this to fruition. So I'm very happy to be here today representing NOAN, the Lagos chapter. And as Opumi has rightly said, we work together as a group, and that's the essence. You said something a while back, Okocha, that the food we take is our medicine. Hippocrates said this about 350 BC ago, as in several, even before the advent of technology as we know it. This is a known fact that what you take in is a component. It's what builds up. Even from the DNA. The DNA is essentially made of protein. Protein is what?
Absolutely.
Protein is food. So right from the molecular level, what you take in is essential to keep you alive and sustain you as well. So it was very, very important for us at NOAN to start building up those systems that allows the quality assurance. Because yes, a lot of people come up saying, okay, I'm organic, I'm doing this. People go to mile 12, they buy fruits and veg, and they tell you simply because it's fruits and veg, then it's organic. I've had that incident several times, and then I try to educate them, and I say, okay, well, it's beyond one person just trying to push the message. It's something that we have to do as a group, and that's why I'm excited being here today. Talking about how the journey has been so far, moving from the farm to the table, and also trying to pass the message across that this is a collective task, something we all need to do together to educate the populace that, okay, well, this is what organic production is about. This is what it will do to you as a person. Have you ever wondered, back in the day, our grannies, they hardly fall sick. Those were the people that enjoyed a semblance of what organic agriculture was. And that's why they do not get ill often. They go as long as 70, 80, 90. I still have a mother-in-law, a grandmother-in-law, I would say, that is getting close to 100. She lives in Ibadan, and she can move around. It's because of the food that she ate a while back and the kind of lifestyle that she had lived. Right now, especially in Lagos, we are dealt two blows. Our lifestyle is full of stress, and then the food we eat, it is extremely contaminated. I can tell you for a fact. Reason why I can tell you for a fact is because I also work with conventional farmers as well, trying to educate them on how to move from, applying chemicals to, okay, gradually going through the process of now, working with organic inputs. Because as I said earlier, how much of your food can you really guarantee is organic? How much of it? So you need to work with the critical mass as well to get this produce to the markets, to get it to the people. For me, I also feel organic is not just for a selected few. Organic should be available and accessible, and as a choice to people who want to go that way. Some people want to go that way, but they don't see the produce. They are forced to go back to the conventional produce that they get. So we are here today to try to educate and also inform that yes, there is an association that exists that we are trying to put all our resources together to approach this in a systematic way.
Brilliant.
Yeah, helping the market, helping build capacity, and also helping for me, the quality assurance is key, because that is the road to the market. We are working on a scheme called the PGS scheme now. That's the Participatory Guarantee Scheme. I can't tell you too much about it now, but what it just essentially does is, once you see a label with the PGS from NOAN, it tells you that, okay, well, this product has been certified organic by the group of people, that have followed certain standards in achieving those standards. So you are rest assured that, okay, well, this is quality end to end. So you will agree with me that that's not an easy task at all to do.
No, it's not.
But it is something that we are working on within the association to have it, in place to guarantee the food that we are eating, at least much that we have access to. Let me put it that way. Yeah.
No, this
Thank
is
you.
it's fantastic and very enlightening. Thank you for that. I think that wasn't funny enough. That's actually what I was going to segue into next. Is that there is this I would like to say there's this notion that, oh yes, after all, it's Nigeria now. All the food we eat is organic. And I tell people, I said, listen, as a farmer, that isn't the case at all. That isn't the case at all. And I think it's tremendous what the two of you are doing. I must, I doff my hats off to you both.
Thank you.
I know it's a tough journey. It's an arduous journey, like I said before. But what I will say again as well is that there has to be, coupled with this, there has to be an enlightenment as well that comes with this. There has to be enlightenment, especially amongst the general populace. It's important that people are educated in terms of these are the benefits of having organic food as opposed to having food, essentially that's packed with chemicals and all sorts of fertilizers and everything. I think that has to be coupled with it. Even taking it a step further and essentially, showing governments, bringing in the requisite agencies like Ministry of Health and so forth, and saying, listen, as we know that our greatest resource are actually human beings and our human capital potential. It's important that we begin to give our people access to clean, safe, and affordable food. And, you can even back it with statistics. This is what happens when people have organic food. They're a lot healthier. We see that, the money in our coffers isn't being drained and being spent on healthcare, because we have healthier populations, and we can then begin to allocate that resource, towards infrastructure and vital infrastructure and so forth. But, it starts with something simple as getting it right with our food, and, maybe even going another step further and saying, okay, how can we also begin to incentivize people to also start doing organic farming? And saying, okay, if you're coming into organic farming, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get preferential treatment. You'll have tax incentives. In terms of exports and everything like that, you'll be given preferential treatment towards exports. Essentially just trying to find a way for people to come in. And then I'm a bit radical as well. And whilst that's also happening as well, and again, going along the same themes of essentially, our human capital potential being our most vital resource, saying stuff like, hey, all this gala and fizzy drinks and everything, essentially putting taxes on that. Yeah, seriously, putting taxes on that, taxing them high, and, essentially shifting people away from all this unhealthy eating and lifestyle and towards a healthy eating and lifestyle. So, these are things that we really need to start discussing and working on. And I'm happy to support both of you in that, I think now is the time.
Yes, now is the time.
Now is the absolute time. So if you have, I know we have 30 minutes. It's been exciting. We can talk about this for hours on end. What next? Are there any recommendations to the policymakers? Are there something that you have to say to the Nigerian people, to your fellow constituents, myself included, as fellow farmers? What is it that you have to say? What is the way forward? What is it that we need to do? Essentially, let it be like a call to arms. Please go ahead. Madam, obviously, again, starting again. H, age and beauty first. So please, we start with you,
Yes.
and then we'll get to Mr. Adams.
Well, first of all, most people tend to ask, how do I know what is organic? What's the difference? You know, what's all the fuss about organic versus conventional? So I'll just make it as brief as I can. Nigeria actually has standards of organic. Many people do not know. So they just say they're organic, but they do not know that there are even standards that need to be followed for you to then get to that point where your farm or your space is certified. And the standards, they go into every aspect of agriculture that you may want to go into. So beekeeping, aquaculture, whatever, whichever of them, it is possible and you will need to be guided. So the standards comes in a booklet form. I usually would have it around me, but I don't have one today. And let me say something for this standard. It is not a standard that you just say, oh, it's Nigerian. It is this same standard that a farm like mine has followed ever since. And from that farm, ginger has, no, I think the first thing was turmeric. It was even Mr. Saheed Adams that made me realize that that same ginger, turmeric is in an office in Netherlands. It passed 5 international standards. Recently, the ginger was taken away. It passed 7 international standards. So when we say Nigerian standards, it is not compromised at all. It is a standard that will compete anywhere in the world.
I'm sorry about that.
It would be a pleasure for people to want to know more and be able to go through these standards. For instance, your farm has to have a buffer zone, because if you are farming organically next to the conventional farmer, your farm is already compromised. So you must leave that buffer zone. And there's so many other things that I wouldn't want to take your time to go into. But definitely, the journey has been an interesting one. We take pains to ensure that whatever gets to our clients, our customers, is the best that we have produced. I remember when I first started, a lady said, oh, the vegetables have holes. And it was a customer who said that is her badge of honor. If the pest can eat it, then it is safe enough for you. So you come to an organic farm. I told the auditor, I said, oh, what else do you need to do? He said, oh, I don't need to do anything. I'm on an organic farm. And I said, well, how do you know? But I know because, first of all, you enter and you're beating black and blue by all the pests that are there. But I mean, that is just a joke aside. We ensure that right from our soil, many people just say organic, right from our soil. I own a tatometer, which I use to measure the nutrient density of what I produce. That is how much it means to me. So consumers need to move away from, oh, it looks somehow. Is it going to benefit your body? Is it going to be medicine that you need? And yes, it is going to be. Unfortunately, we still do not have facilities to preserve our vegetables because cold rooms or chillers are extremely expensive. I know that a company has come up with one. For me to install a small one on the farm will cost me like 2 million. So what we do is that we harvest on Thursdays and we distribute immediately on Fridays. That is the journey of our own food. It starts from our soil. We ensure that our soil is priceless. It's probably the most important thing we own. I always remember J.R. Rodell, who said, healthy soil, healthy food makes healthy people.
Excellent. Yeah. Brilliant. So yeah, no, before we go into Mr. Adams as well, there are actually a ton of questions and people are showering you both with encomiums. So yes, just briefly just touch on, so I can also get on the questions as well, and also you can also answer the questions as well. Okay, the floor is over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. So for me, it's again about systems. What we want or what we need is to really support the movement, because this is a movement. It has to be a movement. It is not something, as I mentioned earlier on, one association or one group of people can do. It is a movement. The kind of movement that you see generated in the US against GMO, that is now getting the policymakers to, yeah, at least change some things. Though it's not what it needs to and where it needs to be, but at least they are making the effort to make those changes. And now, again, from the customer's perspective, the customer is the core of any business. Our production in organic is also a business. Yes, it's a lifestyle, but again, there's the business components that is in it for sustainability. So we need the customers to drive the message in and out. When you get to a farm or a farmer you want to produce, ask, I want organic products. Do you have organic products? When this starts to drum in the ears of the suppliers, he or she will have to make sure he sources for an organic farm or organic farmers. So it is when the drive also comes from the markets that, okay, yes, this is what we want. Supermarkets, ask them for an organic stand. That, okay, yes, yes, we see what you have displayed, but can we please also have an organic stand where we can make a choice of the produce we select? So when that push begins from that market side, it rolls back to production, and production can now increase. And when it does increase, this is simple economics. The price will, reasonably drop. Not that it will drop to the no, but you now get to get that concession that, okay, yes, the volume are now being pushed. The farmers are more than happy to grow for you because they already see an established market. We're in farming not just for the fun of it, we also want to make money. So from that perspective as well, the market drive and all of this, I believe, will push the policymakers to begin to enact laws, because the consumers are also part of the people that make the laws one way or the other. They influence the decision making. I'm sure at some point in time you would have seen or come across a senator that is logging on to this. They all want to be well. Nobody wants to die, though eventually we all will. But it's these are the people that we need to touch base with all the time. That, okay, instead of going to America for a heart surgery, you can eat good food that is organic. That will save you that cost of traveling.
Exactly.
And so they are not deaf. It's just a question of balancing, as I know, resources. So I believe from the customer side, from the system side, we need to keep pushing, making the noise, shouting. We don't want food that is filled with agrochemicals. We want organic, or even if it is going to be agrochemicals, there has to be a certain dimension. In Europe, yes, they still use agrochemicals, but then there are levels, there are rules and regulation that guides first of all, the application, and then the usage as well, the dosage on the fruits and veg. I am yet to see a farmer in my 5 years of working in the agri space. I'm yet to see a farmer that puts on a PPE, that's a protection when they are applying agrochemicals. I am yet to see one. I'm yet to see one. So even the farmers are damaging their own body as well in trying to provide food. So all of these things are what the policymakers should be looking at, and not just applying fertilizer or subsidizing fertilizer at all levels, because that's what I keep on hearing. Government, yes, they are bringing in fertilizers. That's the major incentive that we get or that we see. But there are other ways that we can come about, addressing all of these things systematically. So again, I say the push is from the customers. Push, go to stores, demand for the product. And then at the association level, we see how best we can arrange the system in such a way that, okay, this produce will be available to you 247 or as best as we can within the resources that we have. Yeah, the resources, the association is open to all customers, farmers, policymakers. Yes, it's actually open to all, because we know that it is when we all work together that we can actually achieve the best results. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you for that. Thank you for that. No, very, very, very insightful. It truly warms my heart to hear that these steps and such an initiative is taking place.
Thank you.
Happy to hear that. Like I said, people have showered you both with encomiums. I think one thing
You know, there is another thing about organic produce, and that is traceability. The fact that you know where your food is coming from.
Exactly.
I mean, that is so crucial. And many say that, oh, it's probably more expensive and things like that. But guess what? I have met people who tell me that they would rather eat very little of very good food than plenty of food that is not is not healthy for their bodies. So it's just a matter of choice. I know there's a lady who is always canvassing. She says it's a matter of choice. Which one do you want? You want to be healthy? If you want to be healthy, then you choose right. But if you just want to fill your body up with anything, then it's your choice. Thank you, PJ. You're back here.
Yes, I'm back. Apologies for that. I think it was my turn now to have network issues. But one thing people are asking is that essentially, what is the difference between organic? What is the difference between unorganic and organic food? How is food stored in the markets? How is food stored in the marketplaces? How is it preserved in the marketplaces? These are all things that if you can just answer briefly and enlighten us and everything, so we can also tell the people that are tuned in as well.
All right, great. Let me quickly touch on the difference between organic and conventional. Conventional essentially talks about, production using methods, which also includes the use of agrochemicals. And for organic agriculture, and a lot of people get this wrong, is not about the non-use of agrochemicals. There are 4 principles guiding organic agriculture, which actually, focuses on, one of it is on the health, one of it is on the care, another on the environment, and surprisingly, that what so many people don't know, fairness. You have to be fair to your staff. You have to be fair to your customers. You have to be fair to your environment and the people that are living around you and where you farm. Care for the soil. You don't just put anything in the soil. Even organic inputs that are allowed, there are standards that you need to follow before you use those inputs. This is so that you do not, even in the course of trying to go organic, harm by overdosing because you feel, okay, yes, since it is organic, now I can now pour everything. No, there is a measure for everything that you use. So essentially,
sorry to even interject, but just to back up your point and to buttress what you're saying, the soil itself has, tons and tons of beneficial microbes in the soil. It's essentially, which is also essential for our body. And the more we put, fertilizers and chemicals, we're suppressing those essential microbes that are beneficial for the human body. So, brilliant. I'm so happy you're touching upon this. Please continue.
All right. Thank you. So in terms of principles...
Sorry, can I interject?
Yeah.
Can I interject? I remembered going through a research paper that says that it takes 22 years for the synthetic fertilizer to leave your soil.
Wow.
22 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for that information. I think it's everybody, you know, this is very enlightening, but yeah, it's important because I really, you know, it's important that it resonates with everyone as well. So we understand how critical this is to us. Please, Mr. Adams, please continue on.
Okay. So in terms of practice, that's what you essentially have. Though there are still layered practices that you have in conventional farming, but essentially these are just the basic difference. Though in conventional farming, there's also care, ultimate care for the soil as well. But the use of agrochemicals actually defeats that purpose when it now comes to organic production. So that's why essentially, even in organic production, you have good agricultural practices that you must follow. But those practices are nature friendly. They are not the type that harm your bees through use of pesticide, synthetic pesticides. So organic agriculture harmonizes biodiversity. It encourages biodiversity. On your farm, in an organic farm, you will always see bees. You will see variety of pests that come, and nature actually has a way of taking care of itself. Nature has a way of creating that balance. A case in point, if you have snakes on your farm, be rest assured there could be a hawk lurking around to take off the snakes, and the snakes feed on rodents, and the rodents, you know, there's that chain that actually continues. So you have to understand your environment, and if you want to take one or two of the species out of the equation for, you know, reasons, you should understand the consequence that comes with it as well. So understanding your own environment is actually very key in organic practice. What is obtainable in organic farm A may not be obtainable in organic farm B. Why? The ecosystem can be different. The animals that live in the environment of organic farm A can be different from that of organic farm B. So you don't apply the same thing. Just have a basic understanding of how your environment works, and then apply the necessary measures that are within the standards. Voila, you're practicing organic.
No, this is fantastic, very insightful. I mean, one thing I will also say as well, is that just to buttress on what they both said as well, is that it's important as well to have a symbiotic relationship with nature and our environments. We are not inextricably linked. We are linked together, you know, and it's important that we're cognizant of that. One thing I'll even say as well is just pointing out the ecosystem, how, you know, there are rodents, there are also hawks or eagles that are flying above. But nature as well also gives us deterrence as well. You know, so something like Orogbo bitter kola essentially also staves off snakes. You know, so not only does it stave off snakes and ensure that we can continue working the land, but it's also medicinal for us as well and has a plethora of uses as well. So if we have that mindset and begin to see that everything is linked together and so forth, we can truly do some amazing things. But yeah, we have to round up. Just one more, you know, everybody has been asking, before I round up, you know, everyone has been, you know, comments have been streaming in. People have really enjoyed the discussion. Again, that's kudos to the two of you as well. You know, people have been saying how eye-opening it's been and everything and so forth. One last question I just wanted to briefly touch upon, and then I'm going to ask you both to please let people know how they can contact you through your social media handles or whatnot and everything, because a lot of people have been asking. There was a lady briefly that asked about, if from Carol Cookie, if corn, soya, and wheat are GMO foods that are not the best, what are the organic alternatives?
Well, I would say growing them organically.
Growing them organic. Okay. Growing them organic and not buying GM seeds.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Fantastic.
Now, let me quickly chip in one thing. There's this concept or misconception that, okay, well, we have to have GMO seeds because we have many mouths to feed. The population is growing, that the way we currently farm is not sustainable and it cannot feed the nation. Now, we had a conversation online yesterday with within the group that we are in. Now, picture this: one farm, 100 hectares, one person farming 100 hectares, and then you have another farm, 100 hectares, with 100 smallholder farmers having 1 hectare each. Which do you think will be better in terms of economics and also in terms of the environmental practices that they engage in? Mass production, what it means, you have monocropping most of the time. But with organic systems and where you have this, small farmers having 1 hectare, there's a lot of biodiversity happening. You can get, instead of a cornfield, you can get corn, soya, groundnut, chili pepper, tomatoes, all around the 1 hectare. Oh, sorry, 100 hectares, and see the biodiversity in terms of animals that are going to be there, and also in terms of the different varieties that you would have. You don't need to have only rice. You can have rice spiced with lettuce, all coming from that area. So the economics of it, both long term and short term, is what we really need to sit down and be factual about. Yes, I know back here it's difficult because the system is not in place, so it's actually extremely difficult, I will not lie. But we are working towards getting some things done. But once you have this picture in your head, you will know that, okay, well, we don't really need to go GMO. The policymaker needs to know that, okay, there are other ways that we can actually address this issue.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Actually, we have one more question. I know I've held you guys, but it's just been such an enlightening discussion. But it's another pertinent question as well. People are asking, so is there a problem with the produce that we buy in the marketplace? Are there issues? Are there things that we should be worried about? What do we do if there are problems with the produce in the marketplace? What should we be doing? What other alternatives are there?
Okay. Fortunately, Sisimi is not. Okay. I'll step in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I can categorically tell you that there are issues with getting from the open market.
Wow.
First of all, in terms of the distance they travel, quite a number of them come from a different region of the country that is far off, and they spend quite a number of time, days before they get here. When you pluck a fruit out of the parent, it starts to deteriorate. So the farther it travels, the higher rate of losing, the quality, the possibility of losing the quality that it has. So by the time it gets to the market, some level of nutrient has already been lost. One. Then secondly, in terms of the practices, there's no way you will go to an open market and then demand that you want to know the farmer that grew this particular tomato from a basket of tomatoes that you probably have 10 farmers that have contributed to it. We don't know the source. There's no traceability of any sort. So with the organic system, you know where your produce are coming from. Even with what we are trying to organize, to the very group and farmer that are growing this produce for you. And at some point in time, you have the opportunity of being part of the group that certifies that farm as okay. That's what participatory is all about. So you have the opportunity to say this farm as, there's a checklist that you also tick and say, okay, well, this farm has done the bidding of the standard that we have so set. So that's a process. That's ongoing. And I will use this opportunity to invite all of you to join the association. Reason being that, okay, we have to do this together, as I said. So being part of the association gives you access to real-time information and also allows you to contribute to this movement, as I would like to call it. It's a movement. So I've shared a link. I think the
Yes, we've
moderator
seen
will
it. It's
share. Okay,
yes,
great.
we've also shared it in the comment section as
Okay.
well.
All
I
right,
think also,
fantastic.
yeah, I mean, just to even buttress what he said as well, before we round up, is you know, now is the time as well. Collectively, I would even say, you know, if you have households, households that have access to you know, space and everything, the space can. Don't look at oh, I don't have hectares or acres. You can actually within a small space begin to grow your own food in an organic manner as well.
Yes.
And what I would even say to the policymakers who are even listening, why not even begin to give and to implement something such as a household incentive tax, whereby if households are growing their own food, they get certain tax incentives as well. You know, these are things that we have to start thinking outside of the box and doing and implementing.
Exactly.
And I really thank you because, you know, speaking to the two of you, my mind has just been racing and I've been noting various things down. But it's been an absolute honor. It's been a pleasure speaking to the two of you. I'm going to get your contact details from the organizers of this amazing event so we can continue to speak. As a fellow farmer, I'd love you to come and also visit my farm and see what it is we're doing, as well as visit your own respective farms as well. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. And yes, it's upon your shoulders and the foundations that the two of you are laying, in which others are also going to come and join in as well, in which we're going to see the foundational pillars of a new and glorious nation. It's only a matter of time. There's a reorientation of the mindset taking place, and it's through food and food security and everything that we're truly going to build a great nation. So no, I thank the two of you. It's been an absolute honor.
Thank you for having us.
May your thumbs continue to be greener and greener.
Amen.
May the Creator bless the works of your hands. May you have bumper harvest, and may you feed, uplift, and empower the multitude. Yes, remain blessed always. Yes.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you so much.
Thank
take
you.
care. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Remain blessed. All right, take care. Okay,
Thank
take
you.
care. Okay, bye bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye
bye. Bye.
Wow, that was mind-blowing. I'm about to become an organic farmer. That's knowing where our foods come from. And thank you so much, PJ and Sisimi and Saheed. That was such an enlightening discussion about our foods and how we grow our foods and how it gets into our bodies and, you know, what to do. I refer back to the demonstration video that Sisimi it was shown here, how to grow your own Ugwu. It's I think you can reach out to her to even talk about more about this. It's very enlightening. We can all grow our own food in our back gardens. I think I'm going to even start mine. I started thinking about it for a couple of years back, but I think with this, it's just an eye opener. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it was just brilliant. I can't even talk about it now. It's just excellent discussion. So we continue. I hope you're visiting our Flutterwave store. Loads of shopping there. Ope Farms is there. I'm there. So many other stores connected to the Eko Wellness Network is on there. So the next video, we're going to show a cooking demonstration. It's not really cooking, but there's a baby close to my heart. It is juicing, and I'm very honored to be able to show you what we can do with a few pieces of vegetables, bringing them to your table so you can drink them. You can do it by yourself. It's really close to me because, you know, I'm a believer of good mental health, and in the right fruits and vegetables for your mental health is very key. We know that that we've got a lot of people with Alzheimer's, with a lot of people with dementia, and fruits and vegetables are a key way for you to be able to stay fit and healthy in our minds. So over to the short video about juicing and smoothing. My name is Daba Morigbe. I am the owner of Zesty Juice, and we produce a range of cold pressed juices uniquely blended for your health and fitness goals. So that's what we do. So today, we know we've been talking, you know, for the last 1 year, everyone has been sort of been out of sorts due to, you know, what's going on, the pandemic, COVID. And a lot of us have been feeling some kind of way. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to prepare some like a sorbet made out of fruits and vegetables. This combination is really good for mental health, boosting up your immune system, people with high blood pressure and all of that. So, you know, it's really good for us now that we're at home, that we should really be thinking about our health more and what we put in our mouth. And it's actually low in sugar. It's very simple to make, so any one of you can make it at home. So we just got like 4 basic ingredients. We've got frozen bananas, frozen strawberries, and guess what? These strawberries are actually grown in Nigeria. They're locally grown, so it's not from these abroad people. This is very sweet. And then we've got I'm thinking I'll put some spinach, but let us see how the thing goes. I'll put some spinach, and then we've got cinnamon. And let me just tell you that all these fruits are all homegrown. There's no abroad inside. So yep, to Nigeria. So you know we're doing the healthy thing, so that's good. Anyway, so I'm going to put them in a blender, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, I've got a bit of pineapple as well. I'm just thinking that I might put it in, I might not put it in, but let's see how it goes. So we're going to start blending now. So I'm going to pour the frozen pineapple in here, the strawberries, just half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And we know what cinnamon gives it normally gives fruits and vegetables a real kick. So I'm gonna start blending now. So see. Okay, people, this is looking. I didn't need to put the spinach, but you can put the spinach in. So we're just going to bring it out. This looks lovely. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? Ooh. I'm going to actually, so we've got this here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some, I'm going to do, and not use this, what is left in here, and put some spinach in. That's the, for, you know, the real health conscious, you know, you know, people, and then some little pineapple. I'm not putting any more cinnamon. Now, this is different now. This has got cinnamon, it's got spinach and a bit of pineapple for, you know, the people who want to lose weight. So there you go. It's actually a smoothie. So we've got two. So we're just going to have this taste of this strawberry and banana and cinnamon. Delicious. Kids will enjoy this. And now for this one, which is the spinach, pineapple, a bit of this in it. Let's taste that. Ah, divine. So for your mental health, these two are excellent. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys are going to try to make this at home, and please visit our Flutterwave store online, Zesty Juice, and you're going to get all amazing discounts on our juice cleanses and other juices for you. So please visit our store. Thanks for watching.
Okay, lovely. So, can you do the
Oh, thanks. So we watched that. I think on Monday, someone actually mentioned how to get their children to eat their vegetables, and I would suggest that you can put it in a smoothie. You know, really nice smoothie. So you put your banana, because banana is sweet, strawberries are sweet, and then you just put in. It would even cover the taste of the vegetables, and you can get your children to actually, imbibe themselves with some vegetables. So that's a good way for children to have vegetables in their diet, and just encourage them. Once I find sometimes parents just actually neglect their children. They'll have the vegetables, but their children wouldn't. Just encourage them to eat their vegetables and tell them the reason why it's good for them. Children, they listen. And when they understand the goodness, you see them eating. So please, again, I'll encourage you to log on to our Flutterwave store, and I hope you encourage other people watching us, getting them to watch us on YouTube, watch us on Facebook, and all of that. So the next, and this is our last film for today. We're almost coming to the end of day 5. It is a short movie by, it's called Komboi by Geshen. It's a short film, and is all about mental health. So please watch.
My name is Kukoi, and its literal translation is rejected by death. I did not just decide to end my life.
Oh no. I know. I don't know. What? What's going on?
Yes, I can proceed.
Jesus.
I can hear you too. We can hear you.
With my blood
Am I still
You're
on?
fully on air now.
Oh,
pen to paper to share my story. Couple of years ago, in this same room, covered with red roses, I said yes. I said yes to a beautiful man. I said yes to a lifelong journey of pain and joy, sickness and health, struggles and triumphs. How naive of me, I knew only that much. What I didn't know was that time could change you. I know because it changed him. You see, in our marriage, life dealt us some cards and he couldn't handle it. So he found a vice.
So my name is Oluwatobi Sojimo, from Arts in Medicine, and like I said earlier, I'm an origamist. Origami is the Japanese art of folding paper. But then you ask yourself, why do I want to fold paper? What is the relevance of folding paper? Okay, can you hear me at the back? Oh, better. So, what is the relevance of folding paper? Why do I have to fold paper? Some people will say this is completely alien. I have not even folded paper before. If you have made paper plane, elementary school, boats, let me see your hand up. So we are all origamists, whether you like it or not. Some of us have just decided to take it as a profession or a career than others. Now, I'll tell you what origami does quickly. Origami is just like every other art form, that is therapeutic. But the interesting thing about origami is focus in the moment, presence of mind. Now, how does that even help you? There's the bustle and the hustle, everyday stress. You are constantly multitasking. Some of us are here, you are thinking about 100 things that you're going to do in your offices, at home, and all of that. One way or the other, activity in a way, because you put your mind. What's your name? My name is. We all experience that from time to time because of form is to keep your mind in something. So I'm going to do something now here. You're going to be doing it with me. The idea is that you'd follow me with your ears and your eyes, and then you realize that you'll be a co-creator, just like I have done. We'll get the same result, a similar result. So you're listening, you're being focused. Now I like to do a quick mind. You all stand up quickly. The mind exercise. It's just something short. Yeah, short. Okay, so I call this the clap. So when I say clap once, when I ask you to clap once, you go clap once. Clap twice is clap twice. Clap once. Some of us are already, we're already getting carried away by the wave. Clap once. Clap twice. Not bad. So when I say clap twice now, clap twice. Okay, clap once. Clap twice. Clap twice. Clap 1, 2, 3. Okay, we can have a yeah. So now we're good to go. Now we're good to go. Remember, you would be co-creators, just like, and that's the joy of origami. But it's not about what we're about to fold. It is about the process. All of the process that we would go through to get to this point is what we are about. So let's grab our sheet of paper. If you have a sheet of paper, just write it up, just like me. So I will not tell you the outcome until you see the outcome yourself. I like the mystery around that. So how many sides has a square? 4 sides, come on. How many diagonals has a square? Gotcha. How many diagonals? 2. 1 and 2. Basics. Now, I want you to fold on the diagonal. So when I say fold on the diagonals, from this point here, up onto this point here, like that. Yes, it does. Color side. Fold on the color. Fold on the color. Yes, that's it. On the color. Make sure that you're folding on the color. So the white is below where we cannot see, but we're seeing the color. Yeah. So now there's a word that we use all the time in origami. It's called crease. It's actually reinforcing your paper, ironing it out. That is what makes it stay where you want it to stay. So I crease it to make it stay. So using my geometry, my square sheet of paper has transformed into a triangle, yes? Yeah. Good. Now, I can open this up. You see that I've made a line right in the midst of this now. So, I make a second diagonal. Now, how do you know that you have done it properly is when I make my second diagonal and you look at your paper, you have an X shape on your paper. So, on the second diagonal from here to here, I fold, having a triangle again. Remember, I said that this exercise is not about what we want to get. It's actually about the process, enjoying the process, being in the mind, being in the present. So, as we go on, you will see what we're going to get. So, open this up. You should see an X right now. So, if you don't have an X on your paper, if you have an X, please just raise it up this way. Okay. That's about 100% of the class. Good. So now, I want us to tilt this supposed square to right. Just turn it this way. Are you with me? So when I turn it this way, you can see the horizontal right here. Can we also see the horizontal? So now, I want you to connect here with the middle horizontal. So I just do this and connect with the middle horizontal. If you hold that table, you are a pro. I see a very fantastic job. Right now, we're doing very well. So just do this. And then you have something that looks like a diamond. Long line, like a diamond, yeah? Good, 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 good. Now, what is next is what I have at the bottom here. I fold it all the way up to this horizontal line that I just created here. Bottom, all the way up to this horizontal line. So, bottom, up, and crease. Another thing about origami is the more you crease, the better you work. So, when you crease properly, it's like you're ironing your cloth. When you apply your iron properly at the right places, you see the gator, looking very sharp. That's the same thing with origami. And, unlike every other art, origami is actually very affordable. What do I mean by affordable? If you're going to do a paint therapy, for instance, you need a paint, a brush, a lot of materials. For origami, all you need is paper. We have paper all around, in our offices, newspapers, all of those things. So you can grab the paper and just clear your mind. It's as beautiful as that. So we should have this at the end of this exercise. If you have this, please just raise it up so that I can see that. Okay, good, good, good. All right, so at the middle of our paper, you can see a vertical line. It's just right there on your paper, vertical line. I want you to take this point here on your left side, and this point here on your right side, and align it with that vertical line at the top. So what I'm saying in essence, you can watch me first. So I take this point here to the top here, and then I crease. See? And I do the same here on the left side. So I take this point here to the top here, and so it's like you're folding moi moi leaves, something like that. Yeah. Okay, good. If you're there, just put it on your forehead this way. Forehead, forehead. So if you don't have anything on your forehead, okay, we're not doing badly at all. We're not doing badly. Okay, we're almost there. Just relax, calm your mind, stay in the moment. Now, I want you to turn it for all of us, except me, of course. Your paper is colored on two sides, white and another color. So white and pink, white and red, white and anything it is. At the top, you have a triangle, white. Do you see it? The white triangle. So I want you to fold the peak of that white triangle to the base of that triangle. Peak to the base of the triangle like this. Make sure it does not pass the base. Peak to base. What I do on the right side, I replicate on the left side. So peak to base. And I have what looks like this. It has to look like this. Again, let me repeat myself. We had something like this, a triangle, white. I said the peak here, align with the base this way. Peak, align with the base. Having done that now, I want you to look at this side of your paper, and then skillfully, what we're just going to do is fold this part backwards a little. See? The right side and the left side, you're just folding it backwards. Yeah, right side, left side, fold it backwards and vertically. So I'm going to do it, and I want you to watch. So I turn it to this side, and I said here and here, vertically and vertically. Exactly. Like this, vertically. So, and like that. Okay, she's in front. What? If you're here, let me see it. In fact, that's a pink, beautiful walk right there. And a lot of the things that worry us are usually a matter of the heart. And we've been able to do the heart by yourself, by myself, you know. You did it by yourself. I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything. You just did it. You just did it by listening to me and doing what I am doing. So your origami, your first origami is ready. If you're excited about creating, let me see your hand up. You're excited that, wow, I did this myself. This is my first time. Okay. Now that I know that we are excited, so I'm going to throw in a little mix, give it a little shocker. I want you to pair up with someone. Just find someone to pair up with. A pair. Just find someone to pair up with. Someone to pair up with. I can see a lot of us, we are still in the euphoria of, okay, my origami, this is my origami. So just pair up with someone. Pair up with someone. And having paired up, I want you to look at that person, admire something about that person, and exchange your hearts. Admire something, tell that person, and exchange your hearts. Yes, yes, that's it. That's it. That one comment will make that person say, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mama, you look fabulous. I'm going to give you my heart. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you. It's fantastic. You did well.
Good afternoon. Welcome again. And we want to apologize for the clip that didn't show. It's one of those things that happened. It got frozen, but it will be here again tomorrow. So please log on to see watch this short film. It will be the first short film that we watch. Thank you so much to everyone who logged in, who watched from near and far. I hope you actually got something out of good information out of this segment of the fair, which is day 5. It was just refreshing to hear about the foods that we eat and how it affects our mental health. The farm to table panel talk was very, very eye-opening, and we hope to see you again tomorrow. Please don't forget, share with your friends and family, then to come and watch and listen to more things about health and wellness and our mental health. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you log on to our Flutterway store and you get lots of discounts and lots of goodies on our store. Thank you so much. And once again, my name is Dava Omoribe, and thank you for watching. And this is day 5. Please here for day 6 tomorrow. Thank you so much.